Okinawan weapon called sai. This weapon is from Okinawa. It's a part of a Ryukyu Kobudo system. The style that we teach is Teshinkan. And we're going to show you how to use the sai. If it's the first time for you on this channel, welcome. On this channel, we do all things martial arts. We respect every single style of martial arts, whether you're from Taekwondo, Judo, Jiu-Jitsu, Karate, or something else. Welcome. Hope you enjoy our content. If you like what you see, follow us. Join us on some of our other social media. For those of you tuning in that are repeat, thank you for following. For those of you who are tuning in again on our weekly subscription, you'll have a wealth of content over on our website, nkkf.org, and enough talking about the channel. Let's get into the meat of the lesson. So, how you're going to hold your sai. You're going to take your hand like this and place it directly in the niche of the sai here, and then you'll make a fist like that. Okay, so you're going to make a fist around the side. A lot of people want to point this finger, right? I've learned personally that it's improper to point your finger here because it can be smashed by another weapon or grabbed and then used to disarm you. So instead of pointing the finger, beginners feel free, but for more advanced, let's go ahead and just make the fist. Right? And we're going to do that with both. So we place the sign to the niche of the hand, and then we will curve, lock it down, and make a fist. Now you're going to want to tuck your sai on the arms, not straight down, but a little bit over the sides, kind of like a blade, an extension of the arm that can be used for blocking. And today we're going to go through some basic techniques, and then we're going to begin the first form of kata that you'll be able to use to practice the moves on your own. Right? If you'd like to purchase a pair of these, I would suggest purchasing directly from Okinawa. This brand is Shito. However, Dream Metal Kobudo out of Germany, shout out, they make an excellent version as well. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to learn how to do the standard punch, right? So we load at our sides, and as we throw our punch to that center body, we'll just do the twist. Careful not to let this tang draw back into your ribs. You're just going to keep mindful of where they're at all times as you throw your punch, right? So, and we don't need to do any drastic shoulder movements to do the punch. Just nice and light and easy, right? It doesn't need a lot of power to cause a lot of damage. Okay, and remember, the purpose of this is for history only. We're doing this to preserve historical tradition of an ancient Okinawan item that was used to defend themselves against invaders to their island. Feudal Japan was separate from the Okinawans. They were their own population of people, and Japan was actually invading the island to try to take over the territory, which they eventually did, and the islanders would have to defend themselves using only things such as farming implements, which is what the sai was. So we learn our punch here, first basic move. And before we get any more advanced, let's just practice a couple blocks as well. The first block that we'll like to teach, we'll start low and work our way higher. The low block. You're going to load it at the opposite ear. And with this sai driven along the arm, we'll just swing it in a downward motion, kind of like we're cutting a blade of grass with a machete to block with this here. So that should be nice and tight across the arm and not underneath of the arm, whereas if you were to strike, it would hit the arm. So you're protecting the arm by wrapping it over the side and driving the blade of the side downward to perform your block. Once you've mastered this, try loading your opposite hand so that you can throw a counter technique once you do your block. You throw your blocks downward. This is something that you can practice while you're watching your favorite stream. Something you can practice while you're watching your favorite TV show, anime, Netflix series, whatever you'd like. And you can master karate mindlessly, or Kobudo mindlessly. Our next technique that we'll do, we'll practice blocking to the middle. We'll load at the ear, making a triangle with the arm, and we'll just drive it across to the opposite shoulder. Once again, the blade will wrap not on the bottom of the arm, but over the side, so that when we drive it across, we block with the blade of the sai and not with the arm itself, which could damage us, especially if we're fighting a bladed weapon such as a yari, the spear, or a katana, the sword. Right? We drive the blade across. Once again, no need for severe swinging and twisting of the body. Everything should stay within your strike zone, the box, right? Protecting the vital organs, and then also loading for the counter technique. Nice and easy. The last one that we'll do is a high block. Simple, like a shield. Once again, driving the blade of the sai onto the top of the arm, so that when you're blocking and the strike comes in above, you're blocking with the blade, and once again, not with just the arm, which could cause damage. So make sure you're wrapping it on the top. This will drive straight up the middle, like a Dogecoin going to the moon, and then turn over. Okay. If you did not get that reference, you're a very seasoned martial artist that has spent too much time in the dojo. Okay, so we'll do our high block. Okay, now once you've mastered the basic 3 blocks, let's add the counter punch. Low punch, low punch, low punch, low punch. To the middle. Middle punch, 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 middle punch, high punch, high punch, punch, punch. Okay, and this is something that you can practice, or if you're teaching this to your students in the dojo following this episode, this is a great exercise to get them comfortable with not only holding the sai, but maneuvering with it and not striking themselves, as well as having proper placement of the blade during punches and blocks. Doubles, right? In kata, you'll see a lot of times where you'll take a stance and you'll perform a double low block. Same thing, not here. Wrap those sai over the edge of the arm, so you perform 2 blocks at the same time. Okay, double high block. Double high block can also be 2 punches at the same time using the tips of the sai. Okay, and then double stepping backwards as a spear comes inward or a bow comes inward. We're going to throw 1 low and 1 middle. So slower with the left side. So 1 low, 1 middle. If you're enjoying this episode and you'd like to learn more weapons, consider subscribing to our channel, where you'll see lots of free clips of how to do Kobudo and Karate. And if you like to unlock full content as well as the ability to test, join us over at nkkf.org on any of our programs. Okay, so now we have a couple combinations, double blocks. Let's move into opening the sai. The first one that we're going to learn, we'll take from the punch. If you can zoom in on the hand. From the punch, we're going to pinch with the thumb and the 4-finger knuckle here. Okay? When we open the hand, we will raise over and grab the sai, placing the thumb into the back of the sai, which will allow us to block with the sai. Okay? So what we're going to do is we'll load in the middle of our body, kind of like loading a middle block, grab, and making sure that the wrist is aligned with the tang of the sai. You don't want to put the fingers on either side to grip, which will make it unstable. Push with the thumb at the base of the sai and point that thumb towards what you're blocking. Okay? Shomen uchi. When you do a high block, the tang of the sai will be at the eye level. Okay? Okay, great. So practice that nice and slow first, getting comfortable and keeping in full control of the weapon from the moment of the pinch to the grab to the press to the push. Okay, thank you for subscribing. As you grab here, press, push. Start it slow. You don't want to flick the weapon and spin it like this. You'll lose control of it, especially if it's struck during grab, then push. Okay? Break it down into parts and then make it faster. Grab, then push. Don't spin it, right? And then try to catch it. A lot of martial arts that you'll see online are very acrobatic. We're not going to do any of that with a 7-pound piece of iron, especially when it drops on your foot. As such, that could be very dangerous. So always make sure that you're taking proper measures and ensuring that everything that you do with these is under supervised or professional supervision. Okay, so we're using our blocks here. Okay, great. Now we've learned this open-handed block high. We're going to do the same thing low. So as we load here, we'll grab, push. We're going to move our foot out of the way of an incoming slash, and we'll block low. Just moving our foot. And you can do your crane stance or hizigiri here, or you can do it here, right? You know, both ways. You're evading the foot out of the way of the strike. Whatever is most comfortable for you is acceptable. There are some situations where you want to place it in front, and there are other where you want to place it behind. Now that we've learned our strike, our blocking strike, we're going to learn a downward strike. Now, the sai were never meant to impale. Well, I shouldn't say never. The sai were meant to bludgeon. They're actually classified in a class of weapon called a truncheon, which is a bludgeoning weapon, not a sharp weapon like a sword. So you don't hold them like this, Electra, or like this for stabbing, right? It's a bludgeoning weapon used for breaking bones, causing contusions and bruises. So when you're using these heavy iron weapons, you'll strike down into the smaller, finer bones, such as the back of the hands, into the wrist bones, which causes lack of or loss of control in a non-lethal way. So if you were fighting someone that was using a katana, you would strike into the fingers, knuckles, back of the hand, to which they could no longer use their weapon, allowing you to be the victor and to escape with your life. So this bludgeoning weapon, as we do our block, say we're blocking a sword, had the beautiful ability to trap that blade within the tang, to which we could discard their weapon and then follow through with a downward strike to the fingers, elbow, the wrist, a weaker joint that would cause a lot of damage with a heavy bludgeoning strike. So we'll add these two together, and I'll do it nice and slow for you. As you grab, you will block and trap, which will allow you to roll through a large circle to bludgeon downward onto your opponent's wrist. We're going to practice this in one fluid motion as we block 1, 2. Right? 1, 2. And I'll switch to Japanese. Ich ni. Right? Ich ni. Kyaku. Fast. Ich ni. Ich ni. Ich ni. Ich ni. Ich ni. Right? Blocking, delivering that strike. Now your strike can also be to the shomen, haite, ich ni, right? We're striking to the head now. Block, striking down straight on top of the head to the mask of the face, nose, mouth, lips, striking downward with the bludgeoning weapon if they're not wearing a helmet, right? Striking down. Same thing, the block that we learned here, which is our shomen uke, which is our head block, can also be delivered as a side strike to the jawline as it comes up, which I learned in Okinawa. I always thought it was just a block. It can also be delivered as a side strike to the jawline and behind the ear. On the right side of the human body lies the carotid artery, and on the left side is the vena cava, which is the return of blood from the brain back to the heart. So you have fresh blood pumping from the heart to the brain through the carotid artery, and then you have the return of the blood that's been used back to the heart for circulation. When you're using your strike with this side to the, you're striking to the carotid artery, which causes a momentary lapse of oxygenated blood to the brain, which can cause a knockout. So you're using the strike here. Once again, we would never use this in today's day and age. This is for historical reasons only as we teach this. 1, 2. So you can strike to the head once and to the other side. 2. Right? 1, 2. Some other techniques that you will have that are in there is double block. Right? So we have kamae, on guard. And this is kind of like an old school thing, as you'll see people fighting like fisticuffs, right? That's actually the kamae for the sides, because you want your tips of the side facing the opponent to make quick strikes, and that your weapons are always out in front of you so you can block, right? Just kind of imagine you're in a, we're going to flip this around so you guys are in Call of Duty today, right? So you're here like this, and now you can make your punches, blocks, and strikes. Alright, first person shooter version. Alright, so we're going to double strikes. So now you can do double low blocks. This is something, somebody comes in and they're shooting for the legs, they're going to grab both your legs and take you down. Block both arms with 2 strikes. Sword comes in above head. We'll block with an X motion to trap, discard, and double strikes to the head. Back to kamae. Okay, so this is a common move we'll see in a lot of our kata. Open, block, discard, and strike. To flip them back, I forgot to tell you how to put them away. Once you take them out, you're just going to grab the sides of the thumbs here and pull it back towards yourself, pushing with the index fingers into here. So nice and easy. I'll show you one-handed. You're going to grab, and as you pull back, shift the hand to the back and push it so you're in control. You never want to flip these back towards yourself and try to catch it and guess, because they're very sharp and pointy, and if you're in a rush, you can drop them down into your feet. So once you're here, keep control as you grab it, pull them back, push them, keep the tension in your fingers to hold your weapons tightly, because you never want to lose your weapon and be weaponless when you're defending yourself. Okay. So we have block, or we have strikes, right? Block, discard, we don't want to move outside of this box ever, and then strike, kamae. Some combination moves, high block punch, right? As we block, we throw the punch underneath. And see what else we need for today. We're going to do a very basic lesson, and then we'll do more advanced next week. So make sure if you like this lesson, you tune back in, because you're going to want to learn this kata. This will also give you time to either make, fabricate, or purchase some sai for next week. Okay, let's do, we learned recap. Low block, middle outside block, middle block, high block, double low block, double high block, double strike, single strike, around the head as you block. So if something's coming in towards your face here, you can block around the head and then come back at your opponent. So you'll block cross and strike. Each knee, right? On the side, each knee. So you'll block cross and then strike. Each knee. So if you're facing this way, you're not always going to be able to block the left hand. You can block with the right hand, right? Same thing with this side. Last couple techniques we'll do is, we mentioned blocking 1, blocking 2, spearing 1, come on, each. Okay, so each. Alright, other double techniques that we have is sliding and ripping, grabbing, pulling. So it's a little bit more advanced, but you're able to quickly one fist away from the tang to slash and tear with the tang and grab, to tear downwards, grab and pull. Okay, kata. Technically, are we running out of time? I think we're running out of time. Okay. Homework for you that have been watching this lesson. As I said, next week we're going to get into the kata. I think you're really going to enjoy it. There's about 5 katas that I'm going to teach right here on this series that we're getting into on how to do the sign. You'll carry your sign in your left hand or your right hand. Let's do right hand, like so, in the niche, like this, right? Okay, if you were on the street, you would carry them in the belt. I don't want to get rust on my uniform. And then you hold the weapons as such. Alright, homework for today. I want you to practice all of the moves with a counter technique. You can do it just standing in the oi while you're watching TV. Block, punch, block, punch, block, punch, block, punch, block, punch, block, punch, block, strike, block, strike, block, strike, block, strike, block, strike, block, block, strike, come on. Last time, slow. Block, punch, block, punch, block, punch, block, punch, block, punch, block, punch, block, strike, block, strike, block, strike, block, strike. I think we did block, block, strike, block, block, strike, come on. Thank you for joining us again. And those of you yoroshiku onegaishimasu for those of you that have just joined us, and for those of you that are my friends, tomodachi wa ai shiteru.